Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about what's coming up for the sermon, and that is going to be from 1 Kings chapter 18. And this story is going to be a very familiar one, I know, because it's about Elijah on Mount Carmel and the showdown that he had with all of the prophets of Baal. So there's this great moment, right, where Jezebel, the wife of Ahab, a very wicked king, very bad king, and he's married to a very wicked woman in Jezebel, and she is partly responsible for building up this huge cult following of false worship in the northern kingdom of Israel. And she appoints all these priests and stuff of these false gods. And there's this showdown where they want to have proof. Who's really in charge? Who's the real God that's going to show up here? And so, of course, you know this moment, right? Where Baal doesn't show up, doesn't bring fire down onto the altar, but God does, right? And so Elijah is proven true, or his words are proven true, and Yahweh, the God of Israel, the real God of Israel, is proven true. It's this great moment, this great rallying moment for those who love the Lord, who worship God. And I want to talk about that sentiment, about capturing and catching that sentiment. Because one of the things that we can do whenever we have a story like this is do the "see, I told you so" moments, right? See, God really is real. We kind of bring it down on people, right? You know, we treat them badly because, see, if you just look here, God is real. And I'm with you. God is real. Now, how do we respond when people don't believe the way that we do? How do we respond when people don't react to these stories the way that we do, when they don't find them true or meaningful in the same ways? How do we continue to have those conversations? How do we continue to build those friendships, those relationships, even when people don't believe and still worship false gods, right? Because I mean, that's still happening. Maybe not the same way, right? But everybody is worshiping something, right? By what or whom they give their time to, their energy, their effort, their money, those sorts of things. And so, what does it mean to be God's people? What does it mean to show up for God, right? Not just God to show up and do some amazing thing, but it took Elijah standing there on behalf of the Lord as well, and saying, "No, I'm going to stand for my God still, even in the face of these hundreds of other people who have turned their backs on the Lord and are worshiping these false gods." He stood there, he confronted them, and he stood tall for the Lord. So, what does it look like for us to do the same thing today in our culture? We're probably not going to have a showdown on a mountain, but what would that look like for us to do that? So those are some of the questions we're going to look at, and I want you to think about. I'm looking forward to talking about this story. Again, it's one that you already know, and so I definitely don't propose to do anything novel with it. But maybe it can be a good reminder for us that not everybody thinks the way that we do about the Lord. And what do we do with that, right? How do we navigate those things? So some good things to think about as you dive into 1 Kings chapter 18 this week, all right? So read it, come prepared to talk about it on Sunday, and I look forward to getting into this story with you. So I'll talk to you all next week about what's coming up the week after, and everybody have a great rest of this week.